Good afternoon, everybody, or good evening, depending on where you are located. Good afternoon in Southeast Asia. Thank you, ISP, for giving us this opportunity to have this little technical discussion today and to have a view on what is mobile water services for purified water. You've presented me well, so I won't do it again, but thank you again, ISP Singapore, for giving us this opportunity. I'm Florent Privaret. I'm based in Kuala Lumpur. We cover 19 countries in Asia Pacific. As both MNC development, so working with multinational companies, especially in the pharma industry. The Asia Pacific Mobile Water Service leading 3 different teams, one in Australia, one in Southeast Asia for Malaysia and Singapore, and one in China. The agenda of today will be in 5 parts. First of all, I think you're not going to learn a lot, but it's more an update on the Singapore pharmaceutical industry landscape and how it's been growing in the last few years. Also, the growth of the Southeast Asian pharmaceutical market and what we see happening and the trends. Then after that, the global pharmaceutical water trends and where we are seeing the need of higher or more secured purified water systems. The mobile water service that could be provided in case of temporary need as a rental option. And then a few case studies that we've done in the last few weeks, few months, or few years with our mobile water services. First of all, I think most of you are from Singapore. If not, you might be from Southeast Asia or Australia or China in the region. Most of you know those companies. They have manufacturing or R&D or offices in Singapore. And this is a market that is completely constantly growing due to the incentive that Singapore government has towards pharmaceutical company, and Singapore being a technological hub and biomedical science hub for most of the companies in the pharma area. When I say pharma, it could be also bioscience or high-end cosmetics or medical device companies. So some of you might recognize yourself in the slide right now. I won't name, but we are working as Veolia Water Technologies with many of those companies in Singapore, in Asia, and globally. And you see here a lot of MNCs, but also a lot of Asian companies that are growing in this business. The exports of 2018 and 2019 have been growing a lot, but also the imports. There is more and more manufacturing. So the Singapore pharma market is growing both in export and in import. So you can see the numbers almost doubling since 2019, 2020. As I said, you won't learn more because I think you are aware about the trends. What you might not be aware is the amount of growth in the last few years. So from 2021 to 2026, as you can see, there was an increase of 150 billion in terms of market share for Asia, Singapore and China taking a big part of it, even if Australia is doing also quite well. The growth in Asia Pacific pharma industry is driven about the awareness of healthcare. We want to all be more healthy. They want to all have a better environmental life and sustainable life. So this is why the pharma market is growing a lot. The growth also depends on the value chain and supply chain. I think you've seen with COVID, Europe was struggling having raw material where Asia wasn't struggling because you have planned well in the past. So the growth was more sustainable here in Asia. More investment scenarios. I think you've seen new factories being opened in Singapore, in Malaysia, in Thailand on vaccine manufacturing, for example. The growth is also depending on government regulations, having always a better quality of water for production of pharmaceutical products, but also reuse water in your wastewater plant. And then the core steel talents and advanced technology to accelerate production. This is happening in Asia today and not in the Western world. So market capitalization is dominated by China, Japan, and India, and followed by Southeast Asian countries, especially Singapore. The post-pandemic, where did we see ourselves heading to? We call it post-pandemic until a new one. So we are post-pandemic COVID and pre-pandemic of a new one coming. Pandemic has triggered the pharma companies to go faster, to accelerate the growth of new products, of vaccines that I mentioned, so RNA vaccines manufactured by multiple companies in the market, categories and markets, and also vitamins market that we see also growing quite a lot to be healthier before getting, for example, through a pandemic. The trends we're observing is a higher investment in R&Ds, accelerating the clinical and research timeline we have seen for the COVID vaccines, shortening the approval process of a product on the market, and digitalizing the production and the facilities and processes. So making things much easier for the production team to produce faster and easier for the customer to buy and get the products on the market faster. In Asia Pacific, investors and manufacturers are pushing for new products, for new therapeutics, for categories. You've seen in the food market, base plant foods. You've seen in the pharma markets, smaller amount and higher range of vitamins for the customer to be able to have a faster growth and faster and healthier health. So all these emerging economies have these demands. We also focus more and more on manufacturing of generic drugs that are pushed by India market, by China market, and regulatory framework and adoption of digitalization and new technologies remains a big challenge of the market. And what we call Pharma 2.0, Pharma 3.0, Pharma 4.0 is relatively slow compared to what we've seen in other markets, like, as you can imagine, microelectronics or power oil and gas, for example. Sustainability is key. All we want in Veolia or in your company is to have a better ESG grades, and or the ESG requirement for investors are getting higher and higher. Again, those are just updates, things that you might already know. We go to the mobile business just after. The water trends, so expanding biopharmaceutical sector is very important, and the water demand is much more higher today than I would say we see in conventional pharma markets. So with proteins and mRNA products, the demand of water quality is, I wouldn't say tripling, but definitely doubling today. We have an increase of adoption.
I think we've lost the feed.
We lost the speaker.
Okay, here he is back on.
Okay, I have been disconnected. I'm sorry, I don't know why. I just continue.
Okay.
Can you hear me and see my screen? I think yes.
Yes, we're good. Thanks, Florent.
It was automatic disconnections, guys. I don't know why. So as I mentioned, also we see in this market something new, which is the leasing of water treatment equipment, and we will come about it just after. Especially with few topics and few applications that we will discuss just after on the mobile water services. And another thing is predictive maintenance, having data, and we're all in this data world with AI, learning from data. In our company, Veolia, we have developed AI to be sure that you can predict, for example, in that case, predictive maintenance of CDI system or our membrane. But we apply it to every single part of the water treatment flow or water treatment life. Cybersecurity and validation approach are very important in the pharma business. And one of the restraints of going to digital or going to data usage is cybersecurity. And there is a lot of sensitive data in a pharmaceutical plant or pharmaceutical manufacturer that are very concerned about that, not to be shared on clouds and on data. And we understand that. I think everybody understands that in the market. Data integrity in digitalization, and we use, as you can see on the top of the screen here, something called Hubgrade, which is key for us that we have data accuracy, data consistency, and for sure, data traceability. That's key for us in the industry, especially when we talk processed water, that you need to produce your product at a specific quality, and that is your secret of production. And also the wastewater that let us know what you are producing, because we can analyze it in the quality of your wastewater. Another topic is biocontamination control. You manufacturers or who are in the call today, you must constantly monitor the production quality. And water is very clear, but it's a topic that microbial control needs to be approved and needs to be implemented. So all our treatment system, storage tank, distribution loop that we install on pharmaceutical plant need this biocontamination control, and we apply cold water for injection, biorisk control. Also, wastewater. I don't think the wastewater looks like that in a pharma plant, but the environmental regulation changes and you need to be cleaner and cleaner and reuse. First of all, because you want to be more greener and you want to have good return on investment on your projects, but also you want to have antimicrobial resistance and for sure treat those antimicrobial resistant and those endocrine disruptors that you can find in local waterways. The trends and challenges today. Yes, we all look at CapEx when we have our projects, but what is the CapEx compared to the value that I get?
Florent, you just cut out. We can't
Of
hear
the product.
you.
And with the drug price, the value of the drug pipelines. Can you hear me now?
Yeah, it keeps cutting out. It's okay. Carry on.
I am not sure. Are you fine right now? Is it fine for you?
Yeah, it's fine.
Sorry, just cut me again if I cut. Okay. Definitely more justification is required for CapEx budget. This is why in Veolia we have developed what we call mobile water services to have an operating system that you can rent instead of going to CapEx. And many customers have gone with us on that path to make sure that we can support if you have, for example, an aging plant and where CapEx are reduced. We are supporting on audits to make sure that all the gold standards are applied, FDA, EMA, MHRA. And we need also a right balance for spending, what we call MRO, that you know when you have acquisition and mergers. So this is becoming a priority for facilities department in this pharmaceutical water trend. Few pharmaceutical water categories that you know already. I think the past presentations, you have ingredient for dosage form, ingredients for API or BPC, and equipment cleaning and rinsing. This is basically the water that you might have to be used in your process lines in your plant. Those are basically the data analytics that you have for purified water in different regions or different requests in TOC control, in nitrate and heavy metal control, in bacterial toxins. So nothing you're learning here, but it's just to have a feedback on your side on what is purified water and what it consists in water quality control and digital monitoring for data analytics. So this is the data we are collecting when we are providing purified water to customers. Application for purified water on the site with a minimal stable water quality. So for ophthalmic eyes, nasal and ear preparation, skin preparation, vaccines for non-parental use, nebulizer solution, oral preparation, rectal and vaginal preparation, and active substance AS manufacturing processes. So this is for minimal acceptable water quality. Then we go to more issues. So I go to the compliance and validation. You have to go through the OQs, operation qualification, production qualification, that are very important as much as the design qualification and performance qualification for your site. We are fully compliant with FDA and GMP and GAMP. That's very important for you to manufacture all along your purified water through the system. So this is what is used commonly in Asia, and we are respecting that. We have a first poll. Maybe we can go for the first poll. Why go mobile? So here you will have 4 different potentials. So unexpected or unplanned situation like an emergency failure on your purified water system. Might be an old system that is failing and you haven't had time to change it yet. Upgrading project, maybe an expansion of your site and reconditioning on your site, or replacing an aging plant, or compliance with environmental regulations and reduce water-related costs. Maybe we have the answer to the poll.
Okay, we give it another 5 seconds, maybe.
For sure, all of the above. But it's true that for a purified water system, most of the time we will have customers with A and B. So customers that have a failure, a leak, a breakdown of their purified water system, or customers that have an old purified water system and they haven't had time to change it because their job is to produce their product. Their job is not to change right now the system while it's in production. So why would we go mobile, or we call it rental? The mobile water treatment systems are treatment that you already know, so reverse osmosis, demineralization, purified water, ultra purified water, water for injection, that we've put into compact systems or trailers or containers that are flexible solutions for water needs in various industrial settings. So as I mentioned, it can be a plane failure, and you can call a company like Veolia to come on site immediately to respond to that emergency. So including purified water system failure, a breakdown of a pump, or any kind of system that you have failed on the site. Aging plant, many sites are getting older with older production lines and you have no time to replace it. So you can have a parallel system while you replace your existing system, or we can rent our system up to 7 years on site. Additional capacity, you are producing, you have more customers buying your products, and you need to increase the treatment capabilities to enable your production and have more flexibility. So we can have our system in parallel. Enhanced quality, so we want to implement a new sustainable solution on site because you have wastewater to be treated that at a higher grade or at a higher quality, or you want to reuse that wastewater back to any part of the plant. So not really your production, but it can be in cleaning areas, or can be for canteen, car wash, building washing, etc. Or multi-year services. More and more customers, due to the topic of lower capex, they would like to rent equipment. So they do the same validation, but instead of acquiring the equipment, they rent equipment, as you can see here, up to 7 years. How would you rank the performance of your existing purified water system? So we're going to go for the poll right now today. So maybe you have a new a new system that is working very well, an old one that might fail sometimes, or is not treating as much purified water as you expect, meaning the inlet of your purified water is high. Please let us know how is performing your purified water system today. And we can go through the second question.
We give it another 5 seconds.
Yeah. Moderate to very, so congratulations. Mostly in Singapore, things are really well installed and really well managed. No doubt about that. So hopefully, if you have a need in the future, can be for 3 different topics. Temporary treated water solutions can help to meet your water requirements for projects, potentially supporting timely completions, delays. Maybe the poll could have been, have you ever had any delay on your purified water system? And I think the answer will be maybe 90% yes. So we can support when you are commissioning a new facility and new assets. Why would you buy an equipment for commissioning when you can rent one? For pipe flushing, for testing, for qualifying, you can rent equipment. Continuous operation of existing assets during a planned maintenance and turnarounds. We had some customers who were encountering issues with the feed water. The feed water in Singapore can be PUB water or new water. If it's not always the same quality, it might affect your existing assets on site. So why don't protecting it with the mobile system to make sure that your purified water plant is not affected by the change of feed water. And then late life management and plant decommissioning. If you have to move your plant from an area to another, which is happening quite a lot in China or in India those days, where factories and plants has to be moved, we can support you. You don't need to invest when you're managing the end of the life of the plant. You can rent directly. Sometimes you can fail to reach the objectives. So the objectives can be from the plant manager or from the engineering houses. So meeting project timelines can impact all the efficiency of your project as much as operation than production, and also the financial performance and the reputation of the company if you cannot, I would say, provide on time to your customer the product. So in terms of plant manager, operation-wise, you can have issues with the disruptions and delay in the production schedules. So having mobile can be flexible on that. You have a system on site whenever you want to produce what you need to produce. And then you might have issues with the EPCs and engineering house with financials, so overrun penalties. So if you are an EPC and an engineering house and you don't have the fixed water plant on site, you can have the mobile, so you avoid any penalties on that case. Legal, so you can avoid also litigation, arbitration, and reputational. So if you have an EPC company and you're late on your projects, this is an issue for the reputation. Having the mobile can have a peace of mind on that, not having delays on site, because you can be there on the right time. Mobile water services. So the goal here is to achieve the treated water quality that you need at the right time as you need, with the full security of the quality, guaranteeing the quality. So we will meet all the water requirements asked by the customer for plant commissioning, startup, operation, and maintenance. So the service is tailored to the customer on time. So our depot being in Malaysia and Singapore, we should be on site within 7 hours from your call in case you have an emergency. Quality and quantity of water. So today our flow rates for purified water are starting at 10 cubic meter per hour to RO, which is reverse osmosis mobile, that can go up to 1,000 cubic meter per hour, which is not really the demand in pharmaceutical. So today in pharmaceutical, for purified water, we are providing as mobile, emergency, planned, or long-term, from 4 cubic meter per hour to 10 cubic meter per hour. Health and safety, we have an excellent track record for zero accidents. We have a service backup. We're working this Sunday actually on a site in Singapore, 24 7 on-call duty. We have a phone number, multiple process options to meet advanced critical path schedule. We can do some preliminary mobile SOS to make sure we have a preliminary audit of the site to avoid if there is any penalties, and pay as you go. So our service is very clear on that. We are very flexible. If customers need our service for 1 more week, for 1 week less, for more equipment, we're happy to provide. The advantage of mobile water services is to avoid any uncertainty in the product life cycle. If you need something by less than 7 years, so maximum 7 years rental, we are saving cost on operations and maintenance because we are handling it fully. That's a full turnkey service. If you have additional volumes of treated water required, we also support on that. Any new project or replacing the existing plant is primary driver for the customer. Improve the reliability and predictability of an existing plant, pay as you go as mentioned. And sometimes some customer desires a fixed cost for this service. That's something we are providing. And secondary drivers, some customers are asking for plant trials, especially in Singapore right now for reuse. Some customers are not sure about the solution, so they're asking to rent a pilot. We reduce the wastewater on that case. We wish to improve the quality of treated water. Being sustainable and meet environmental requirements is also key for the customer. So the key there is having a dependable system that can contribute to consistent performance and quality standards. Flexible and independent also system. So you have your main feed here that are contained with duplex softeners and series. And then you have your multi-purpose tank. So all of this is included in your system with reverse osmosis and CEDI. This is why we have the mobile Orion in the middle here. For those who are already familiar with Veolia, you might know the Orion. And now the capability of Veolia with those mobile water services is to have mobile Orion able to be supporting the customer. The system here, as you can see, the little blue truck down there is in a container. We provide it for the customer for short-term or long-term capacity increase. It can feed your storage tank for manufacturing. It can also feed your steam generation system for the plant where steam is needed. So the configuration is flexible and adaptable to your various requirements. So basically the applications are on the left. The applications are in black all around the system. So plant refurbishment, maintenance, late delivery, boiler flushing, startup, etc. So the groundwater or the feed water can come from city mains, borehole, waste, surface water, or sea and hard water. This water will go through a water and wastewater service provider, us in that case, to provide water for boiler feed, steam generation, or processed water, in your case, purified water. So this presentation will be shared to you. So if you have a doubt or where can it be applied, this is all in that slide. I give you a few case studies. This one is for, we didn't put the name of the company, but you can imagine most of the pharmaceutical companies have used mobile in the past in Europe, in the US, or in Asia. Happy to share with you in the future or visit some sites that are using it right now. This one is a manufacturing site in Indonesia that makes a diverse range of creams, nasal spray, etc. Providing 180 million packs for 140 countries in the world. The client issue, they have an old plant there, and the problem of this old plant is affecting the capability to deliver the increasing demand of high purity water for the campaign of new medicines. So what the customer lead here was validation of USP and pH European Purified Water System, because it's a European company. And we were providing 6 cubic meter with the mobile system within 2 weeks of instruction to proceed. And they rented the equipment for 10 months, so they were able to plug and play the system to have additional purified water on their site. Another customer that I can mention by talk is having an issue with endotoxin coming inside their feed water, and it's affecting the performance of the water for injection system. So they asked us to provide a mobile reverse osmosis of 10 cubic meter per hour, so they could protect their water for injection system from the inconsistencies for microbiological contamination. They had issues because they were finding some microbiological contamination in their purified water. So they wanted a system immediately on site. So in that case, for 3 weeks of order, this was a long time ago, so in 2006, for 2 cubic meter per hour. So rapid deployment of the system on site within 3 weeks, and we're able to have a right water quality for the customer and securing compared to tankering water, which is happening more and more. People still continue to tanker water, which is more expensive and less environmental. Another one is health and safety issue built up within the plant there. Another large company, this one is from France. The health and safety issues were due to acid and caustic built up within the existing plant. And we provided the mobile Orion on site for the customer to have a 1-year treatment on the site so they could solve that long-term issue they had on the plant. So this is what we call a planned failure. Finally, not only mobile Orion, we have mobile purified water system called Orion, we have mobile Arrow, but we also have mobile demineralization. Those are vessels, and in those vessels that you can see on the top right of your screens, we can put medias like activated carbon, like sand, like berm, but also mixed blend resins to manufacture to the customer demineralized water. So they have a production site where they do sterile injectable. And the issue of the customer is that the demin plant was failing, and it was then polluting the plant system and the ring main. So the emergency supply within hours, we were able to supply purified water in that case, or demineralized water, below 0.2 microsiemens to the customer in terms of conductivity. So we were delivering within 36 hours after the call with IQ and PQ and OQ done in 5 days. And the client in that case didn't lose any production. So you can see here plant failure immediately on site. Another one is for boiler feed and purified water. So client A acquired client B. This is the facility we had in the Netherlands. And the result of the acquisition was different requirement for processed water. So the acquisition created 2 separate customer requirements, one for boiler feed water and one for processed water for production. So in order to meet both customer requirements, we provided mobile demin water for the boiler and mobile purified water with an arrow, double pass arrow in that case, for the processed water. So one single system to produce 100% on boiler and production, ability to fulfill 2 end user requirements with one system, and we are running without major malfunction to the customer. This was a 4-month rental. I think we can go through the Q&A. I think I had half an hour. It's 6 p.m., so I just reached the time, and I'm happy to support on any questions.
Great, thanks, Florent. Does anyone have any questions?
There is a few questions in the chat that I might answer.
Yeah.
So do you provide UPW system for semiconductor industry? On mobile business, because the assets are already existing, we are giving warranty mostly on conductivity and silica. Most of the time, semiconductor industry needs a higher grade. So right now, I can give you an example. We are doing, I think I won't say the name, but a very large UPW mobile system for a client in Penang with a massive investment, American customer. And we are doing it, yes, the water quality is the right UPW water quality, but we are not giving a guarantee. We are giving warranty for Orion, so purified water for pharmaceutical, but UPW for semiconductor, we are doing it, but the customer has to test the water in what we call a proof of concept. We were only guaranteeing the conductivity and the silicon. How much water goes to get recycled? Depends on the demand of the customer. We are doing many zero liquid discharge sites, so we can do a zero liquid discharge sites, both on mobile and CapEx. But this is discussion to have with the customer. Percentage can be 100%. Definitely, you're going to have water will be recycled, but you might have some waste to dispose outside and pay for outside disposal.
Does that answer
Thank you so much.
Siva? Yeah. Sorry, does that answer your question, Siva?
Yes, it does. Yes, it does.
Okay, Sayok, did that answer your question?
These were my questions. I think Siva's questions is next.
Yeah, how is your service support in Singapore? Massive. We have a lot of people in Singapore. We are supplying right now, at this moment that I'm talking to you, we are installing another mobile system in a shipyard in Singapore. We have all pharma companies with a pharma team that is completely followed up. This is why I'm here today in ISPE. Actually, a few of the Singapore pharma team is in the call today also. So we will be able to service any site in Singapore within a day. Any. And actually today I cannot be in China today for family reasons, but today we're opening our regeneration station for mobile system in China today. But we already have here in Malaysia in Penang.
Okay, thank you. Does anyone else have any questions, or would they like to put it in the chat function? Or please unmute yourself. If we don't have any questions, I think then we can let Florent get on with his evening, and for everyone else also.
Thank you, everybody. You have my contact at the end of the presentation. Feel free to reach me if you have any questions, not only about mobile Purified, but any kind of system for mobile. We are also working very closely with our integrity of water team. So if you have any questions on water, we're always very happy to help and support.
Could you show your last slide, please, Florent?
Is not shared? Ah,
No.
yes. Okay, so here it is. My
Okay,
contact.
if anyone would like to contact Florent or anyone from the Veolia team, please do reach out to us and we'll forward the connection to you. All right. Well, thank you very much for your time and for sharing that with us.
Oh, I forgot something, by the way, for those who are still there. We are having an event in Johor, not far from Singapore. It will be in Pasir Gudang, where we are inviting all industrial to see our assets. So our assets will be present in Johor. It will be on the 25th of July. More information definitely can be shared with you. Invitations. It will be in a hotel. I forgot the name. But it will be Johor. Everything will be shared with you. It's on 25th of July. So feel free to reach us if you have any interest. I think I have another 2 questions, actually. Sorry. Yes, I think
maybe directly.
Stefan sent me a few questions for Dionys. Okay. It's okay. Thank you.
No. All right. Okay, great. Well, thank you very much, everyone, for attending this session. Thank you, Florent and the team from Veolia. We look forward to potentially seeing you in July. If there's anyone interested, let us know and we'll forward the contacts on.
Thank you.
Yeah. So thank you very much, everyone. Have a lovely evening. Thank you.
Thanks. Bye.
Thank you.